Yes, YouTube Nation and me, same man, Missa B. And say, after Burna Boy burn down the place down at Jamaica, conquer the place, conquer Kingston and set the stadium alight, the National Star with what we call the office. I feel make a talk about that. You know, Burna Boy is not a stranger to the music. In fact, Burna Boy is a massive artist, world class artist, and of course, well managed, well educated. If in case you don't know that, went to apart from born and growing up in Nigeria, went to school in London where he read for a master's degree and come from a pretty solid family financially. So he's not a man where I try a thing and just I try feel out in the thing in a big way. Family very entrenched in a Nigerian and generally African music, having managed some big artists, over time. I think his mother is a integral part of his management team. So to his grandfather, who has managed some big African artists themselves. Burna Boy basically started the music business in 2010 and around 2012, basically Bossway, right? Started out like enough Jamaican artists. I make dub plate or what we call special for sound system in Nigeria. And then over time decided that him had the goods, that him could follow in the footsteps of some of the big African giants like Fela Akuti and Sonny Ade. And over time just basically put in investment. And so today is one of the leading voices in the, as far as, the development of the Afrobeat is concerned. And, a lot of people think, you hear about Afrobeat, so they think is new music. Afrobeat is not a new music. Afrobeat has been around from the 1950s, in case you don't know that. Afrobeat basically is like water in a container. The way how the music fluid or the genre is fluid, it fits in with whatever is the current groove. And so in the 50s and the 60s, when the music was blues and jazz, Afrobeats basically, piggybacked on that. It's the essence of the Afrobeat is the acoustic rhythms, the acoustic approach to accompanying the music. And over time, it just kept morphing as American music shifted to, from blues to or from jazz to blues to R&B. So too did Afrobeats shifted. And by the time we got to the 1970s, when people like Marley and Jimmy Cliff and Peter Tosh is now touring Africa and introducing reggae music to Africa in the 1970s into the 1980s, essentially Africans started to embrace this music in a massive way. And we are kind of sick in our head if as Jamaicans we believe that having created a music that we have full time or permanent hold onto the genre. And essentially as music is over time, others will pick it up and it is going to influence other genres. And by extension, Afrobeats picked up some reggae stylings and then largely picked up the dancehall stylings coming out of the 90s. And in fact, I made comments some time ago about being in London in 2005 and in 2008 when Afrobeats was just coming through the thing. So just to kind of set the background. But today, Burna Boy is largely the biggest name as far as Afrobeats is concerned. And, it's not that his music is limited to the hardcore Afrobeats as we probably know it. But, it was a massive, well-exposed artist with a significantly broad catalog of work. And so, with a diaspora, an African diaspora of over 140, 160 million, it just makes sense that an artist like Burna Boy with the kind of backing and financial support that his management would provide, would embark on this kind of a world tour, as them call the tour, the Love Damani tour. And for those who don't know it, Damani is in fact Burna Boy's first name. Damani Ebonulka Ongulu, that is his full name. And so, it's about him selling himself to the globe. Now, as a significant artist, a major artist at the global level, Burna Boy needed a concert like he had in Jamaica, because Jamaica has always had a reputation of being the hardest audience to capture. Furthermore, given the position with Jamaican music right now, even at home in Jamaica, we see where the government has not made any effort or has actually declared them hand that they're not really too interested in music. We love the where we can get off of the music. We ride upon the coattails, and Jamaica is a place that produces reggae music and dancehall and this and that. But by the same token, the Prime Minister done decide say dancehall music a crap music. It is responsible for criminality. And if at the highest level of the government you make those kind of comments, you can imagine that people with money who you don't want to attract into the industry, them now come. And so, as a consequence, what we see is that the attitude to dancehall, the attitude to the music generally in Jamaica, has caused a dissipation of interest at the global level, right? We see a couple of years ago where Billboard basically dropped charting reggae music. Them don't bother even have no more reggae chart anymore. This dancehall even worse and worse too, because the music now have no leadership. You get everything. All kind of crap is being passed off as dancehall music, and it further is just dissipating the interest in the music. More importantly, the Jamaican diaspora is only about 2-3 million if you wanna be as effusive about the numbers. So when you contrast 2-3 million with 160 million, you have to be an idiot to not realize that the music, the diaspora with the biggest purchasing power is where the music is, and that is the African diaspora, which is what drives Afrobeats. And so Afrobeat has its popularity too in Jamaica, especially the younger generation who has cottoned on to the current iteration of Afrobeat. And so for those reasons, Burna Boy had to play in Kingston. And there's no better place for Burna Boy to do what was delivered in Kingston than at the National Stadium. The National Stadium in Jamaica is a centerpiece it's almost like the town hall of Jamaica, where the country come together to regale those who have represented us well or who we're sending off to represent us. And the international sphere is a place where we celebrate the country's cultural, sports, and social achievements. It's a place where we entertain international guests. Is a place where we roll down the Union Jack on the 1st of August in 1962 and run up the black, green, and gold standard at the National Stadium. So there's a significant space. And so this is the same space that Bob Marley, Robert Nesta Marley, and a host of other artists have performed. I remember the 1978 One Love concert where the king himself, Robert Nesta Marley, closed the show, and I was there. And so if Burna Boy wants to make that statement that he is the leading black voice coming out of, we want to use the third world definition, which is where the tendency is to classify people of African descent into. Burna Boy needed that concert to stamp, to take ownership of the void that has been created in Jamaica since the death of Marley, the fact that the music in the country get knocked down by the establishment. He needed to play in Kingston and to demonstrate or to take hold of this chasm that has been created by the lapse that we in Jamaica or as Jamaicans are, treating our music with. And he did that. From all accounts, the show was a pretty solid show. 20,000 people turn up, spend some strong money as well, because I mean, some of the tickets, we criticize the organizers that have a $400 ticket. I mean, I lie to you that even me to join some and poke some jab at them. But the fact is, the organizers, the promoters did an excellent job in putting this concert together, and had some local acts that participated as well. Popcorn, which is another story. We'll take that on in another video. And of course is quote unquote girlfriend Tony and former Miss World. Among some other acts, really made the show a pretty solid show. It demonstrated that the music is still big, that music is massive in terms of its tourism draw capabilities. I say, what's his name, Ed Bartlett, jump on the bandwagon, and and he made it clear that the government are really interested in investing in the music. Them just interested in taking where them can get off of it, as he outlined in a conversation he had with the Jamaica Observer the day after the concert. That we will support private investment in terms of doing these marketing programs and so on and so forth. And I think that is one of the clearest signal you can get, that as a country, our political administration is not interested in the music. When you take the minister's comment and you add it to the prime minister, who are trying to lay the blame for criminality and gunmanship in Jamaica at the feet of dancehall because him now have an answer for the crime problem, you understand why big business interests in Jamaica now have no interest in the Jamaican music. And so what we have done is that we have squandered 73 years of investment and work to the extent that outsiders now see a bigger value for Jamaica, both as a space, as a cultural space in the first instance, as an influential space within the popular music market. And they have decided to literally sink them anchor and capture it. And again, that is because we in Jamaica don't have no real appreciation for the value of what we have created. Having said that, Burna Boy came to Jamaica. He came, he saw, and he conquered the place. And in my opinion, what we have done, we were being critical of that we have white man a win Grammy and all them sort of thing there. All of this is happening because we in Jamaica are not interested in our own music. And so people like a Burna Boy seize the opportunity. He look back and he see how reggae music and dancehall in the 1990s basically came into Africa and took the place by a storm. And then they looked at it and realized, but them Jamaican people are idiot, because them not make them not capitalize on what them created. So they have just simply hitched their wagon onto that star until basically them just capture the galaxy that is Jamaican music. That is my takeaway from the Burna Boy concert. Burna Boy, whether we like it or not, is a massive artist. The man is a global a global icon as far as the afrobeats journey of the music is concerned, as far as African music is concerned. But more importantly, by now having captured the Jamaican space with his presence at the National Stadium, he has easily slotted himself in as the quote unquote the voice of black popular third world music, then, if we want to call it that, of the current era. This is him looking at the role that Marley played, Robert Nesta Marley, in the 1970s, in taking reggae music from a little place called Jamaica and all across the world several times over. And Burna Boy is doing the same thing, following the footsteps of the great man, Robert Nesta Marley. And he came into Marley land He saw and he conquered. Now, I'd love to get you guys feedback on your thoughts on this, and love to read your feedback in the comment section of the video. If you like the video, may I ask you if you just hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, subscribe to the channel. It's a good way for us to build and thing. And at the same time, when you visit, check out my website. I think there's a link in the, I'm gonna leave a link in the description of the video, where you can look at some of the memorabilia, the stuff that we do. We sell stuff like these reggae hoodie and t-shirts, caps, and so on, and support the team, because that help keep us on the air. We have a whole part of programs we want to do, but more importantly, subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, share, and tell your friend about it as well. Let me read your feedback in the comment section. And as usual, I'm me, Missa B. Respect.